And let it out. And continue to breathe and to bring in the new and to let out the old, always replenishing, always invigorating. And what I know is that there is only one power, one presence, one light, one love, one creative force, one absolute, infinite, self-existent cause. And out of that oneness, everything came. So all of creation is a manifestation of or an individualization of the one. And so I know that each one of us is made of God stuff. We are divine spiritual beings alive and well on planet Earth. And as I speak my word as the word of God, claiming that this class, these principles, change hearts and lives. I know that we are healed, we prosper, we are open and loving and joy-filled. And I know that this is the truth for those in this classroom and all over the world. I know that we are blessed and blessed and blessed again. And so with great gratitude and thanksgiving for yet another class of Science of Mind principles, I release this treatment into all that God is, knowing that God is in it all. As together we say, and so it is. So Stephen, I'm about to take my mic off because there's that weird sound. You didn't hear a weird sound? Yeah, it's kind of like a ringing. Okay, at any rate, there are a couple of things you need to know. One is that this class has a bigger workbook than the last two classes you've talked about. They don't have specific questions on reading material. They've got other readings, and we are focused on spiritual mind treatment this class. You've heard me say all year this is like a mini practitioner class. And now we're getting into the nuts and the bolts of spiritual mind treatment. This workbook, for those of you in the room and those of you around the world, is available on our website right now. During the next 2 months, it's on our homepage. Also, and after it disappears from our homepage, it's on the classes page, right, with all of the video recordings of the class and the audio recordings. The workbook is right there. Please feel free to download it, to share it, to pass it around to all of your friends. It's got excellent quotes and ideas and readings in it. You're also going to notice that there are many, many pages in here that look like this. And that's for practicing writing out your treatments. You're going to get a lot more detailed instruction about doing spiritual mind treatment in this class than we have in the past. Some of you came into class and I threw a little cheat sheet at you and set you off to treatment right then and there, and you did great, but we're going to fine-tune it throughout the next 8 weeks. We're going to get a better understanding of how to do a treatment for ourselves, how to treat someone else, where to go in the conversations. If someone comes up to you, you're doing a treatment for someone else, and they say, "Treat for me that I get this job tomorrow." You're gonna have some input on where to go with that. What would getting the job tomorrow mean to you? How did that make you feel? How does that look? And we're going to pull you back from treating that the person gets the job tomorrow. We're going to treat for what all of that means: freedom, prosperity, creativity, respect, love, all of that wonderful things. That's what we treat for. So we're going to practice that a lot. You're also going to have a little bit of an opportunity to do some treatments up in front of the class. Breathe. It's going to be okay. What I usually like to do is put 5 people up in front of the class, and everybody takes just one step. And in that one step, you put together a group treatment. It's really quite fun. You get to hear the way other people treat, and you get to shift how you do it yourself. So there are readings for every week. The Science of Mind readings start next week, and you don't have study questions. I just expect you to do the reading and do the reading in the book. If you don't get to your reading, don't not come to class. Please come to class. We'll talk about it and we'll play with it. There's a lot of things in the notebook that I'm not going to get to. So if you've got a question or a comment about it, take it upon yourself to raise your hand and bring it up. Any questions? Alice?
Is there a problem? I didn't take 102, at least I started it, never finished 102. Is there going to be an issue with me not taking the prior?
Never. All of my classes are self-contained. So no matter where anybody comes from or comes in at what state of science of mind knowledge or expertise, I'll make sure that you're right where you need to be, and you'll be treating like a champ in no time. How long have you been in this teaching?
About 2.5 years now.
Was that in Baltimore?
No, I started here in April of, oh God, I joined 2 years ago.
Right, the teaching. When were you in Baltimore?
Oh, I was in Baltimore many years.
I know. So you've been in this teaching for a long time. I'm not worried about you. Any other questions or comments? Robin.
I know that I've taken several courses over, I've been in science of mind for 30 years, and I know I've taken several courses, but I actually can't remember which ones I've taken. Do they always report those to headquarters?
You mean for going into practitioner studies? They're only good for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So all of those, Jack's in the same position. All of those classes you took years ago don't count anymore. They don't want a lapse in consciousness from when you were taking classes to when you go into practitioner class. So you gotta redo classes anyway. And this is an excellent class for you to use to remind yourself of what's going on. Okay. So I love this class because it gives us a chance to go over treatment work and to really look at how we're going to do it. So on page 7, we'll jump ahead to, let's go to the beginning. I'm in camera. On page 2, you have the reading assignment, and that's the Science of Mind textbook readings. It also gives you the dates of the class. So if you get a little confused, Tony. Lori. Hi, Lori. I'm glad you're here. Yes, thank you. So if you get confused about which class we're on, you can look at the date and see which class we're on. Breezy.
I do have a quick question in this, just on how they have it listed here. You've got the date March 4th, spiritual mind treatment, and no reading. Is that for homework there's no reading? Or
Yeah, you didn't have any homework to come into this class tonight.
March 4th class?
Yes. On next week, March 11th, you've got Science of Mind textbook 308 to 322, and in your curriculum, it's going to say assignments for class 2. And it'll give you the reading assignment again. It'll tell you to read the stuff in the notebook, and it will tell you to meditate. How many people do not know how to meditate? How many people don't meditate?
Very often.
Okay, so part of this class is developing a healing consciousness. When you are clear inside of yourself, and you know that when you speak your word, you set law in motion and things happen, then you are moving into that state of healing. And healing is a misnomer. Ernest says there's nothing to heal, only truth to be revealed. And Stephen, am I on? Okay, the nothing to heal, only truth to be revealed. So really we're not healing anybody, even ourselves. We're returning back to that state of perfect health and wholeness that we already are. However, doesn't it sound lovely to develop a healing consciousness? Don't you want to do that? Part of that is meditation. And I know that some people love to meditate and some people it drives them crazy to meditate. But if you're one of the people to whom it drives crazy to meditate, it's important that you do it. And Pegatha, there are all kinds of easy ways to meditate that you can Google. One very simple one is as you breathe in, you can count 1. And then exhale. Or I think I like to do it on the exhale. Breathe in, exhale, count 1. Breathe in, exhale, count 2. And you can stay at 1, 2, because then you can't get into mathematical equations and figuring things out, and you're off to your grocery list before you know it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Start off with 5 minutes. Just sit there and meditate. And what you're doing is you are teaching yourself how to control your thought. in that when a thought comes, if you don't want it, you don't have to bite. You don't have to react to it. People who meditate seem to be able to pick and choose their emotions better, pick and choose their thoughts better. Take a moment, take a breath before jumping into something instead of being a puppet on a string that is all in reactive brain and limbic brain and adrenaline and all of that stuff that happens when we're not thinking and we're just reacting to what's coming at us in the world. We want to be able to take control of our thought and take control of our consciousness. In developing a healing consciousness, one of the things that I have found is the best tool is practice. Practice, practice, practice. When you give a spiritual mind treatment for anything, John told the story about the internet. Of course I treated that. John woke up this morning sick. I said, "You want me to treat you?" He said, "Yes." I treated him, and the man has been healthy all day. So when you practice that, it becomes second nature. You don't have the doubts. Is this going to happen? Is it going to work out? Oh my God, what am I going to do if it doesn't work out? You know, because you have done it over and over and over again, and you see it happening. This is what we do. We create our experience. We direct law. We have the things that we want to have because we have taught ourselves how to focus on what we want to have. We don't allow ourselves to be thrown around by the winds of fate or other people's reactions, and part of that is meditation. I don't think that meditation is the end-all, be-all. I think that meditation is our way to listen, to tune in to that higher state of consciousness within us. I think that spiritual mind treatment is our way to talk and to direct law and create our world, but they sure do go very nicely in balance together. Breezy.
So you don't want us to use guided meditation?
I don't care. Just meditate.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, I was talking to Pegatha. 1212. Pegatha's the only one that raised her hand saying that she didn't know how to meditate.
There's also the new meditation class at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning.
There you go. I think those, when Lynn does it, they're guided, aren't they? Yeah, and I'm going to set an alarm clock up there for you guys to get done by 11:15. Coming downstairs at 11. They've been meditating an hour. Where am I? What's happening? So we are developing a healing consciousness. When someone comes to see me and they say, "I just left the doctors, they gave me 4 months to live," they say blah, 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 and they are not clear. They are not choosing their feelings. They are freaking out, sometimes sobbing and just at their wits' end. They come to see me. I have done enough treatments for people and seen enough conditions completely reverse themselves to know not to buy into this drama and not to get hooked by it, that there is a power and a presence that transcends and supersedes all conditions, period, end of story, and that truth known demonstrates instantly. Instantly. It doesn't have to wait on your ability to accept it. Anybody who tells you you weren't ready for your demonstration, that's a crock. It doesn't have to have you be all enlightened and clear and all of that. If we needed that, we'd never go to a practitioner. We go to practitioners when we are not taking care of it ourselves. And we say, "We need help. Somebody help me here." So then our practitioners come and do what I call lend consciousness. We have a wonderful practitioner in the back, Carrie Gaddis. Yay, Carrie. They can lend consciousness and give us something to hold on to. Sometimes people will come up to me and ask for treatment or make an appointment. They don't come up very often anymore because I say make an appointment. If it's important to you, you'll make an appointment. You'll come and see me. I'm not doing the flyby thing. But they'll come to me and say, "I don't know that I can believe this." And I'll go, "Oh, you don't have to believe it. Can you believe that I believe it?" "Oh, yeah, you're Barbara Waterhouse. I can believe that you believe it." Well, that's all you need to do. And in that, they've let it go. They've let go of their resistance. They've let go of the fear. They've let go of all of the upset, because then they can hook onto me and believe that Barbara Waterhouse believes it. And in that, my knowing of truth, because we are all one, my knowing of truth demonstrates in their lives, whether it's internet coming miraculously on, whether it's someone waking up really not feeling well and then just like that feeling, "Hey, I'm great. I'm feeling great. I'm fine. I'm not getting sick. Yay. Watch out for the negatives, though. So that's what we're going to focus on, and we're going to practice treatment. I mean, treat everything. Everything in your life. I drove around a car that should have been dead for years when I first came into this teaching. And every time I got in the car, before I put the key in, I would do a full-fledged spiritual mind treatment on that car, knowing that God is right here and right now, and that this car is the manifestation of spirit in form as this car, and it works in harmony, in concert with all the mechanical laws of the universe. It gets me where I want to go easily and directly, and it takes me back wherever I want to go, and this is a wonderful car, and I'm so grateful for it, and I release that. And then I put the key in, and then it always starts. But if I were to get into the car and be, oh gosh, this battery's gone, alternator, it's smelling of smoke, oh, I hope it starts, and then it doesn't start, then I have to work on not only my fear that I put out there, but the fact that I've already created it not starting. So don't put yourself in crisis and then try to use spiritual mind treatment to get out of it. I mean, we do it a lot, but don't intentionally do that out of laziness. When you get up in the morning, treat yourself. Treat your day before you go out into it, and that which you've put in your day will find you. And it'll be a wonderful day. Treat your meetings before you go into your meetings. If you go into the bookstore or the grocery store or whatever, do a spiritual mind treatment before you go in, that you find what you want to find, that the stuff you get is great, and that it's a great experience. Lori, do you have a point? Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how do you start your day? How do you roll out of the bed every morning?
Oh, I roll out of the bed and roll upstairs. Usually John hands me a cup of something warm, whether it's tea or coffee or whatever. And then we go upstairs. We've got a beautiful living area, and in the winter it's got a fire going in it. And we do our spiritual mind treatment. We treat for all of the people at our center. Every member gets either me, John, or now Sally for a week's worth of treatment once a quarter. So I have a list of people that I'm treating for. I have a list of other people that I'm treating for. Sometimes it's quite an extensive list. And John and I talk for a little while about what a beautiful morning it is, how much we love our home, how great it is to be married to each other, and then we go into treatment. And the first part of the treatment is centering and focusing, and then we do our treatment, and usually let's say John starts, and he'll do all of his stuff, and then he says, and he passes his word to me, or I'll start and do all of my stuff, and then I'll pass my word to him, so he'll finish up the treatment, because we have very bad boundaries. So we even share spiritual mind treatments. But that way we're up, we're clear, we've set our intention for the day, we've done mindfulness work, and then we go into the treatment and we treat the day. We treat everything about the day. We treat the center, we treat the grounds, we treat the dog, we treat the money, we treat the activities and events. I've been treating that the what are they called? The things that we offer our community are done at an excellent level, that we offer quality classes and workshops and Sunday morning celebrations, and that the music is excellent, and anyone who calls here is treated with respect and is given everything that we've got to raise them up and to welcome them, and I just go on and on and on. And then Sally Robbins showed up in my life. So I look at her as a demonstration of treatment. And she's playing Bohemian Rhapsody Friday night. How'd she get to be the fun minister? So I treat everything, and I treat often. Treat early, late, and often. Do it over and over and over again. Don't wait for Monday night when you're going to do this spiritual mind treatment. No. Every thought is a prayer. Every word is a prayer. So get used to controlling what you think about and what you speak about. And why wouldn't you want the results of everything is perfect, whole, and complete, everything is prosperous, everything is successful, everything that I touch turns to gold, everyone around me loves me and supports me, and everything that I need I always have. I live in an abundant universe where there's more than enough for all. I'm in my joy, I'm in my love, I laugh deeply, I eat well this day. These are things that I just rattle off all the time. Why wouldn't I want to create that world? Joe Dispenza said, if you really believed this stuff, you would never let your feet touch the ground in getting out of bed until you had created your day. You would never leave the house until you have created your day. You wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't go into a business meeting without treating it. You know, when I go into a place that's not here, like when we were refinancing, we had meetings with bankers and lawyers and all of that. I would always take the time to fill up that room with light, to know the presence of God right there, to know that everything is unfolding perfectly for mine and everyone else's highest and best, that this is a win-win, this is easy, this is joy-filled, this is filled with love. And then I hear other people go, oh, refinancing was a nightmare. And, well, you created that nightmare because you were reacting. And so one of the things I want you to do right off the bat is get used to the idea that you're going to treat yourself through the next 8 weeks. And then you won't fall into a hole. And then you won't have things pile up and overwhelm you. It just won't happen. The choice is always there. Is it going to work out or is it going to be an obstacle? And if it's an obstacle, it's because we didn't take care of it in consciousness to work out. Anytime we have anything like music issues or sound issues or things like that, my phrase to David Washington is always, we heal it in consciousness. It's not, should we go get this? Should we do that? I mean, we may end up doing that, but the place to work is in consciousness. We treat it. We treat it to health and wholeness so that we can be the best center that we could possibly be, which I think is the best center in the world, changing the hearts and lives of millions and millions of people. That happens in consciousness. You want to develop a healing consciousness. So you're going to meditate every day. I'd like you to meditate more than once a day, but that's really up to you. Some people meditate in the evening and it keeps them up. So if that's the case, don't meditate in the evening. My prime time for meditating, long meditations, is about 3 a.m. when I've been awake for half an hour, 45 minutes, and it doesn't look like I'm going back to sleep anytime soon. So I'll sit up and I'll just start to meditate. I'll work on my breath. I'll tell my body how grateful I am, and I'll just kind of let go into that. And very often the next thing I know is I'm waking up in the morning. Sometimes sitting straight up, but I'm waking up in the morning, and I've used that time to still my mind, because usually what wakes me up, what awakens me in the middle of the night is so meditation calms that. And you don't go against yourself. You don't say, would you shut up? You don't fight with yourself. That's not meditation. When I was doing my ashram thing, it was every thought is a bubble. And when the bubble comes up, you just notice it and let it burst and disperse. And then another thought will come up. And you just notice it, no judgment, no engaging, and let it burst and disperse. And you just do that. And after a while, the bubbles are much fewer and farther between. And so when you're doing your meditation, even if it's just for 5 minutes, you're teaching yourself how to think the way you want to think and how to be the way you want to be without being hooked by outer circumstances. And that's one of the most powerful things you can do. Because when you get that the things happening around you are not influencing you, that you are influencing the things that are happening around you, then you have all the power. Because you don't believe it when you see it when you believe it. And so training ourselves is the most important thing we can do. I've often said that this is not a teaching for weaklings, and it's not a teaching for lazy people. It requires discipline. It requires vigilance. It requires a lot of noticing. What did I just say? Do I want that? Where did that come from? What was my thought process that led me up to that? What in the world is going on in my belief system that I've put myself in this position to begin with? Treat that. Treat what's going on in your belief system. I'm surrounded by people who love me and support me. The world is a friendly place. I am welcomed into this life. Not all of us were welcomed into this life. So treat that. That everyone that I meet today is a beautiful expression of spirit, and we have a love fest. Treat that into form, because sometimes our belief systems don't go along with that. Sometimes our belief systems say, there are people out there who will try to hurt me. There are circumstances that can hurt me or take something away from me or give something to me. And none of that is true. We are the only ones operating on our life. And when we operate on our lives from a conscious way, we become a healing presence. And then you can notice something and you can treat it, whether it's in your own body or the body of your affairs, or whether it's with someone else. And we're going to work a lot in this class on treating for other people. So, page 7, how to give a spiritual mind treatment. One of the things that we haven't spoken about yet is the idea of intention. We want to know what we're treating for. Why are you doing a treatment? Well, I'm treating so that my day goes well. Great, that's your intention, that you have a wonderful day. Some people have an intention that, I woke up and my back hurts, my hip hurts, my knee hurts, my elbow hurts, whatever. I've got something that I don't like. I woke up and I had some concerns about something. So when we have that, we want to get really clear before we do the treatment. What in the world are we treating for? And sometimes when you go into treatment, you will space out. And you won't remember what you started to treat for. We have that with practitioners a lot. If you notice, some of our practitioners take notes when you're meeting with them. If you haven't met with a practitioner, Thursdays they're in here just waiting for someone to come and ask them for a treatment session. They're hour-long sessions. They're wonderful. It's on a love offering for them. So you want to see a practitioner. It's very different than the 1-minute miracle. But they'll ask you questions like, most of us know what we don't want. What is something that you don't want?
Bad health.
Sickness. Illness. No, that's enough. Illness. This is just an example. So illness, you say, oh, I've got, my throat hurts, I feel like I have a fever. I have a cough. Oh no, I don't want to get sick. I don't want illness in my life. Or I got a diagnosis, I've got a genetic predisposition. I don't want that. So before you go into treatment, you've got what you don't want usually. So what do you want? If you don't want illness, what do you want?
Good health.
Health. I don't think there's bad health. No. Is there?
I would assume illness is bad health.
No, illness is neither person, place, nor thing. It does not exist. I'm quoting the textbook. You guys have read almost the whole textbook so far this year. So you want health. What else do you want? Peace. This is all about illness. Yeah, you don't want illness. You want clarity. What else? Slow down. Energy. What was the other one? What was it? Ease. Enough. Wisdom. So, you've got a sense of what you do want. Before you go into the treatment, you don't really want to go, okay, my intention for this treatment is health, peace, clarity, energy, ease, and wisdom. So let's condense it a little bit. Out of those words, what do you want?
Say that again, Barbara, out of those words.
Out of those words, what do you want? You don't want illness, but I don't want to give you a million words. Health. You want health. You want health. What else do you want? Pick the next most important word. I'm going to go with energy, and I'm going to go with clarity. Okay. You can go with anything you want. I'm just reducing it to 3 things. So my intention for this treatment is health, clarity, and energy. What was that? That's my intention. That's what I'm going to build my treatment around. And so we want to make sure that when we do a treatment, we're doing it for health, clarity, and energy. You know, a lot of times we talked about all of the physical ailments in the last class and what the belief system or thought process is that leads to that ailment. We went all Louise Hay on everybody. And clarity is really important because when I'm clear about who I am, I'm not susceptible to germs. You know, when I'm clear about who I am, then I am an eternal being of light and love and health and wholeness. And that clarity is very helpful in demonstrating the health and wholeness that I already am. So we went with clarity, health, and energy. In the 3rd step of treatment, which we're going to get to in a few minutes, we want to make sure that we include those words. So this process is not only for the intention for the treatment, the purpose for the treatment. It is also to include it in the 3rd step of treatment, which is to affirm or to realize what the treatment is about. And when you go to a practitioner or when you have someone else do a treatment for you, it's really good to think about, well, I asked for a new car, they treated for me for a vacation in Hawaii. Is that really what I wanted? And then that's on you to say, that wasn't really what I wanted. Now, if you asked for a new car and they treated you for freedom and abundance and joy and excitement and all of that, and you say, well, that's not really what I wanted, usually the conversation will go, yes, that's what you are looking for from the new car. Or safety, security, something like that. So you're going to use this in the 3rd step of the treatment. You're going to make that part of your affirmation and realization.
And is that part of the intention that you were talking
The
about?
purpose, yeah. Yeah, this is a purpose statement or mindset. And if you've been to see a practitioner, they spend most of the hour figuring out what they're going to treat for. They're good at treatment. They can rattle off a spiritual mind treatment and know the truth for you just like that. But what is it that you really want? That takes talking often. That takes getting into the under causes that may be unconscious, subconscious, subjective, and feeding those experiences that you no longer want. So we're going to move on to page 8. We're going to do just a little bit of, am I still in the shot here? Oh, here. What are the 5 steps of treatment? Okay, give me just one. Somebody else, what's number 2? What's 3?
Affirmation, realization.
Somebody else, what's 4?
Thanksgiving.
Gratitude. Does it? I rewrote most of that. I didn't get it all. And step 5? Release. There's a lovely acronym using all of these letters. Remembering I am God revealed. And isn't that what a treatment is? It's a process of remembering who we are. Remembering I am God revealed. So in the recognition stage, what are you going to know for yourself? This is a treatment for yourself. God is what? God is everything. What else? Somebody else. God is all there is. Let's do it without the word God. Stretch a little bit. Spirit is in everything.
Divine presence
Divine presence what?
is inherent in all that there is.
Divine presence is inherent in all that is. Yes, yes, yes. What else? How about using that word oneness that we are so fond of? One. I'm still looking for recognition statements.
There is only one thing going on.
There's only one thing going on. See, divine presence is inherent in everything. There's only one thing going on. Same thought, different words. Use your words. Use your words. Don't try to get all holy. It drives me crazy when practitioners get up on the stage and all of a sudden their voice gets very silent, very quiet, because they are being so holy and spiritual. No! We don't have to change to be in alignment with who we are. So use your own words, say it the way you want to say it, get yourself where you want to go. There's one thing going on. There's a presence, a power, it's light, it's love, it's peace, it's joy, it's happiness, it's whatever it is you say it is. And then we're going to move to the next step, which is what? Identification. And what is that step? I am what? I am all that God is. What?
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay. What else? Give me some other phrases.
I am one with everyone.
I am one with everyone. Yes. God and I are one. I am one with the divine.
Energy is all there is.
That's step one.
Oh. I am energy.
I am spirit. Something that takes you into a realization that you're not just a part of the divine, but it is what you are. When I'm feeling really cocky, I will stand up in my treatments and say, I am the presence of God itself right here and right now, and I am all that God is. I am all that is and more. And because of that, I have the same power, the same creative ability of all that is, of God itself. And so I speak my word now as the word of God, calling forth into form right here and right now. That just makes me feel good. Do you know? And those are my words, because sometimes when I go, God is all there is and that is what I am, it doesn't take me where I want to go. Sometimes I have to stand up and get loud to take me where I want to go. So what you want to do is you want to have that feeling that there is an infinite energy within you. There is infinite power, infinite creativity, that you have the ability to touch something and make it so. To give you that feeling of being lifted through it all. Because remember, you're doing a treatment usually because there's something you don't want. And so you want to get back into that state of mind where you are bigger than the problem. Where you know and you know that you know that you know. And so when you move into the third step, you've got all that mojo going to where you can kick into the knowing and the belief and the affirmation and claim it as so without having to climb the mountain of, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know if I'm spiritual enough to have a healing here. Boy, there'd be people on my watch that were dead if I had to do that. So what is step 3? Affirmation realization. So in affirmation, what we're doing is we are making something firm. And in realization, we are making it real. And in the affirmation process, for me, I have 5 tricks that happen to all start with P. We're going to have 5 qualities of the affirmation included in that affirmation realization stage. Does anybody know what they are? Present. Whoops. Wait. Why is it present? P-R-E. When I was taught these principles, I was taught to treat that my good is coming. My good is on its way. Good things are going to happen soon. And through the decades, I and most of the movement have realized that if there is only this now moment and we are continuing to futurize our good, it's never going to get here because there's only the now. So when does our affirmation have to be? Now. It's got to be now. Does everybody understand that? Sometimes I hear it from the stage from our practitioners. They're futuring, saying that things are going to happen, things are coming, things are working out. The ing word is a sign that you don't want in the affirmation stage. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Great. What's the second P?
Positive.
We'll do that next, Jane. That means no no's. We're not doing denials here. The universe doesn't understand a negative. So if you treat that there's no pain, what are you putting out into spiritual law? There's pain. Yeah, the universe cannot hear a no because the universe is infinite, and in an infinite there can't be something that's not. If there was something that was not, you would have the infinite and that which the infinite is not, and you would no longer have the infinite. So you can't have a no. Debbie.
I was doing something the other day and I was using the word limitless.
I don't like it.
And I stopped because I didn't like it myself, so.
But that causes you to think. What is limitless in a positive word?
Oh, I forgot what I came up with. Abundant.
Abundant. What is another word for limitless? Infinite. Yeah. Freedom. Any of these things. You're using words to get yourself into a state of mind. And whatever words you use are going to be great. It's important that you get into that state. That level of awareness, that connectedness, that mojo, that feeling. Say whatever you want. Say the ABCs if it takes you there. But when you say things that are negatives, then you're fighting against yourself. And there are a lot of people that teach negatives. I think Sally had a denial in there on Sunday. That pardon me? She did. So there are a lot of people that still use negatives. There are times when I will use a negative and say disease is neither person, place, nor thing. This has no energy of its own. This has no life of its own. This does not exist. But then I will kick into high gear on the positive ones. And that's after 40 years. So you guys stay with positive. Okay? Jack.
Didn't Ernest Holmes use the
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, denials were such a big thing. There's an old 7-step spiritual mind treatment that has denials in it. So, Jane, what did you say? There you go. And that means this is all about me. This kind of a treatment is for me. We're going to start off with that one. Some of you have a lot of experience with that, but we're going to start off with it anyway just to make sure that we're all clear and that everybody's on the same page. We are not treating for world peace. We're treating for me. When people call me and say that they want us to treat that their neighbor's son-in-law is peaceful, not violent, not bringing the police over there all the time, then I immediately go to that person. I can't treat for them, but what is it that you want? This is about you. So when we're treating ourselves, it's I. For that matter, you never say you in any kind of a treatment, period. Do you know why? If I'm treating for someone else, and in that treatment I say, and you know this, you have this, you are this, Tiana.
So in my gratitude, I have said like thank you, like spirit and things like that. And
Who
I
are you
wondered
thanking?
If that was
That's why I like gratitude instead of thanksgiving. Because gratitude is a feeling of being grateful. Thank you often has a subject-object relationship, and I am thanking somebody. So if I'm in a spiritual mind treatment, some people would say a prayer, and I am saying thank you, I'm triggering off my whole subconscious into some kind of an outside power, whatever that power may be, a deity, an energy, the stars in alignment, whatever. What am I thanking? So you just need to be clear about that. I don't want to take the thank you away, but when I'm treating for Alice, I never say, and I know you. What happens when I say you to Alice? I'm talking to Alice, the person. Treatment is a movement in mind within the person doing the treatment in the practitioner. Period. Alice doesn't have to be there. She can be there. It's good for her to be there because it often makes her feel better, but it has nothing to do with me. I am treating myself. So when I am treating myself, there is no room for you. And as soon as you go into you, you're not treating anymore. You're having a conversation. You're chatting. You're saying, gee, Alice, I hope you like this treatment because I hope you like me because I like you and I'm feeling a little insecure today, so I'm going to say you and hope you give me a smile. No, that's not a treatment. A treatment is a movement in mind in the one doing the treating. Breezy.
So you don't do the, like, I know that Alice has perfect health.
Sure, but where is the you?
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying, because you said just to say the I, and so I did not know if you were talking.
I know. I don't treat that Alice knows. And that's what some people do. They want to treat that Alice knows this, that Alice believes this, that Alice accepts this. It has nothing to do with Alice. It has everything to do with me. I know it inside of myself. Truth known demonstrates instantly. We are one, so knowing it inside of myself demonstrates it in you, and you'll get all covered with gold dust and stardust on the way by, and you'll feel better, and there'll be healings and cleanups inside of you, but that's not my focus. Stephen. Nah, it's all about I. It's all about I. And you'll notice that my opening treatment is not really a treatment. It's an invocation, but we don't want to call it that because that's way too churchy.
They just wouldn't do anything without.
No, it's a teaching tool, it's a lifting, it's a centering, and it's a segue into the song. But it's not a spiritual mind treatment. Because it's not structured correctly. David.
I think also another reason why it's appropriate to say I is because of the oneness.
Yes.
Everything is one, so you're not
Yes.
eliminating separation.
You is two-ness. You is duality. Everything is known. If it's known inside of me, it's known everywhere. And I don't have to go chasing it, trying to pin it on Alice or Jack or Susan or anybody like that. It's known here. It's known everywhere. And that's my only job is inside of my head. And when I'm clear about that, I can do anything. I can absolutely do anything. Last year, we had 2 cases of renal failure that got completely healed. We had 2 of them. We had Sandra Knight and Cheryl Ward. You know, it was fantastic just to see that manifestation, yes, to know the truth and to watch everything change. And the doctors just go, well, I don't know what happened. You remember that, Carrie? Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Must be a mistake. The mistake was in the original diagnosis because there was nothing wrong. So that's why it's so important to practice. That's why it's so important to do your meditation and get a hold of your thought process. Don't let yourself run amok, and do it before you get caught up in the day. And then stop and do it. If you've got a break, go out and treat. Do a treatment. If things are not going well, one thing that I've learned, go to the bathroom. Shut the door. People will leave you alone for at least 5 minutes. Do a treatment. And then go out into a different life, into a different experience, because you just put it there. Sure. I love it. I speak my word for and about Alice Ursum. And I know the truth of her is vibrant health right here and right now, abundant prosperity, loving relationships, joy-filled success. Everything is unfolding so wonderfully for Alice right here and right now. That's a treatment. So the 4th P? Precise. Thank you. Do not ramble. If you ramble in the affirmation part of your treatment, very often you can get caught up in the wording of it all. And that doesn't mean to say that you've got to have cookie, what do they call those fortune cookie size treatments. But I've heard people that just go on and on and on and on. Get to the point, know the truth, and move on. Now, if it takes you 15 minutes to know the truth, that's time well spent. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, and the last one? Powerful. Don't wimp out. Don't say what other people said. Don't question yourself. If you want to do spiritual mind treatment on a motorcycle ride, go for it. You know, what is it that excites you? I was taught to make a list of evocative words that meant something to me. Prosperity meant nothing to me. Abundance, less so. Money, that meant something to me. So I put money on my powerful words. And I would treat for money. I didn't know what abundance was. It was abundance. I don't know what it is. You know, so I had words that make me feel good. And as I demonstrated a little while ago, that thing of saying, I speak the word of God, calling forth all of the power of creation right here and right now. I mean, to me, that just rocks me. I love that. And so what makes you feel good? It may be standing up and being loud. It may be being very quiet and introspective. Whatever it is that makes you feel like you are on top of this manifestation, those are your words. And your words are your words. They're not my words. They're your words. So these are the 5 P's of affirmation. The gratitude. What is a gratitude statement?
I am grateful for good health.
I'm grateful for good health. Do you see that she brought health in here? And in the affirmation realization stage, you're going to use all of these, but you're also going to say, I now have magnificent health. I am now strong. I move with ease and grace. I am filled with energy. I am filled with vitality. One of the things I like to treat for is I'm getting younger every day. I am youthening, not euthanizing. I am youthening. I am youthening every day. I treat myself that. And then people come who haven't been here years and they go, oh, well, you just look younger and younger. Well, yeah, that is the power of mind. I'm not going to just sit idly by and let race consciousness take me out. I'm not going to do it. I will create my experience, and I will create it by using spiritual mind treatment. So in this step, you use these things that are your intention. You affirm them right here and right now in a positive, personal, precise, present, and powerful way. And as you're doing a lot of your treatments in writing, what you're going to do, you'll have a chance to make a list and then make sure you reference that, and you'll teach your brain how to connect in that way. Give me another gratitude phrase. Does it have to have grateful in it? Can we get out of the box? I give thanks. What? I appreciate. What else? I like that one. I am so happy that everything in my life has worked out. I'm so happy that I get all the toys that I want. I'm so happy that I have the ability to jump on a plane and go to a condo and go to the beach. I'm so happy that the world supports me and loves me. I'm so happy that I'm doing what I am meant to do, that I'm being who I'm meant to be. I'm so happy. So it doesn't have to be, okay, now I'm going to say thank you or give thanks or be grateful. Get out of the box. Get out of the box. This is only going on between your ears. Nobody's going to critique you. Susan.
So like I celebrate.
I celebrate. Yeah. Celebrate good treatments. Come on. I am thrilled. That's your word. You say that a lot. So that's your word. I am thrilled. Yeah. One of our older practitioners loves the word grand. It's grand. And so that would be his word. And this is so grand. And so whatever is your word. So what's one of the release statements?
One of the what?
Release. We're on to step 5. I release these words. Dan?
I was saying, and so it is.
And so it is. What else? There's a part in the textbook that occasionally gets picked up, and it is that I take this word and I fling it into the universe, just like a frisbee. I fling it. And I always thought that was so cool, that we take this and we fling it, but there's really no flinging. There's only the incorporation of the knowing within us. There's no place for it to go. So even releasing it, what we're doing is we're releasing our attachment to it. We're releasing our holding on to it. We're releasing whatever that energy of thought to do what it does, to set spiritual law in motion, for all of the power of creation to come into form, to bring the molecules together, to have it in our hand, for this to be true. Just however you want to say it. Please have more than one line on all of these things. Breezy and then Susan.
Would something like, I absorb this good health into my body, would that work?
Sure, absorb away. Susan.
You're saying use more than, and it seems that I just have like a formula, a recipe, a menu.
Right, I want you to just move it around a little bit, stretch your words, see if there isn't something else there, because it can get rote.
It does.
Yeah, so
And then I become self-conscious, and then it's like I can't bring it out, especially if I'm working with someone else. If I'm working by myself, I was walking in the woods with my dog today. I mean, I'm eloquent, because it just flows. But when I'm working with somebody else, I am studying myself too much, and I come up with again a formula, a menu of what I usually say.
so what I want you to do is start practicing with other phrases, other words. We used to have a little booklet called Creative Thought, which I loved, and it had a treatment for every day of the month. And you'd get to hear all these other people do treatments. Like, wow, I never thought about it that way. I never heard it put in that languaging.
Didn't we have some old ones here once or something?
Probably. There is something with the, what's the New Jersey Center? Anybody know? If you Google Spiritual Living Center in New Jersey Center for Spiritual Living, they've got an electronic Creative Thought magazine that they've put together for a very nominal monthly fee, and they'll email you the treatments, but it's out of the New Jersey Center. And it was so cool to be able to just have that, to hear different ideas. The Science of Mind magazine doesn't really have treatments in it. It's got lovely thoughts, but it doesn't have 5-step, clear, concise spiritual mind treatments for the sole purpose of manifesting the best life ever.
There's a couple hundred on the website too.
What?
Aren't there a couple hundred on the website too?
On the archives? Of our treatments. Yeah, we've got a whole treatment section on our website. Our website, for those of you who don't know, is CSL Asheville. LLE.org. CSLAsheville.org, and if you just look around there, all the Sunday celebration treatments for years are up there. So you can go to your favorite practitioners and have them treat you.
There's also, I think we still have a couple of them back there, a lady, with the practitioners had their conference here. She had put together a spiral thing that goes through all 26 letters of the alphabet using different words. Just to remind you about different words that you might not have thought of.
Thank you. So we're going to take a break. We're not doing treatment partners tonight. We're going to come back. Come back, and we're rolling again. So on page 9, they talk about the technique and the fire. And what they talk about is that there's something that happens when you really get the treatment. You're not just saying words, you're not wondering if you're saying the right words. You move into this almost altered state, and they're describing it to heaven on earth, to a fire. I don't really want to limit that. Ernest says that you don't have to have any special feelings to have an effective treatment. They're saying that you need to get to this space in order for your treatment to be really effective. So let's look at what that space is. Have you ever been in a treatment work or in any kind of situation where you just got it? Where you just got it, you realized it, you got it. That's where you want to get with your treatment. You don't want to mouth some rote words and then say, okay, I'm done. I don't really believe it. I didn't really have a sense of, yes, this is true, but I said the word, so certainly the lottery ticket will come in. You want to stay with that, and you want to feel it, and you want to get it. One of the things that I have found very effective is in staying with the first two steps. Most people, God is all there is, God is what I am, and now I get to go for what I want. Well, you're not ready to go there. You're still bringing with you all of the old ideas, all the stuff, all the fears and the concerns, which are the reason that you're doing the treatment. So you want to stay with that first step. And I like the NASA website. NASA. I love the NASA website. The pictures are amazing. Pictures of nebula and other solar systems and other galaxies. And sometimes I look at those pictures and I don't know if it's an electron microscope or if it's the Hubble Space Telescope or the Mars, whatever it was that took the rover out there. But what it does is it makes me bigger than myself. And so I'll look at the NASA website. I'll look at pictures that are expansive. But the reason I like the NASA website is because any picture of Earth is still limited to Earth. So I want to get bigger. I think that's one reason I like sunrises so much, is that I feel bigger in a sunrise than I do in my own skin. So I like to stay in that place of there is only one. It's light, it's love, it's joy, it's infinite. Well, it took me a long time to have any sense of what that meant. It's absolute, meaning that it has nothing to be in relationship with because it's only one. That's a very heady word. But light, for me, is very clear. I live in a vibrational and reflective universe. So what is the vibration? There's a vibration, and it just goes on and on and on. And then I'll picture the is that me? I'll picture the mirrors that are aimed at each other, and the image goes back and forth infinitely, because I live in a vibrational and reflective universe. And so I'll just start to think about that, and what might that mean on a really big level, instead of just, well, God is all there is. Well, what in the world does that mean? Robin.
It was such a revelation for me when I realized that it was so much more than thinking. That the treatment, what it ultimately needs to do is change your level of happiness. And it's just when you feel, because when you're very, very happy, that's a higher vibration.
Yes.
It's when the vibration changes that the things happen.
Right.
Or you start seeing what's actually there.
Right. You should never finish a treatment feeling bad. You shouldn't be depressed at the end of a treatment. You don't have to be kicking your heels and skipping down the road, but there should be an uplifting energetically, just like Robin said, so that when you're done with the treatment, it's a, yeah, I feel better. I feel good. If you don't want better, I feel good. I feel great. Am I on? Okay. So I feel good. But then in the textbook you're going to read that Ernest says you don't have to have a particular feeling to do an effective treatment. You just have to know. But in that knowing, there's a moment of, yes, I got it. And I find it's easier to get to that place when I'm clear about the first two steps, when I'm not just rushing in to try to see what I can create so that I feel better about the toys in my life, that I move into this state of remembering who I am, remembering I'm a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual law, that I am the only thing going on in my life, that this is it, baby. It's love, it's light, it's joy, it's peace, it's all of these attributes, but that is all that there is. You know, I've actually said that you don't exist. I'm the only thing. And for you, I don't exist. I am simply an exceptional demonstration of your consciousness. But in my world, I'm the only thing. So when I start to get that, and not I'm the only thing, but I am all of it. I am the thing in my world. When I start to get that, then I can move into the knowing of truth despite the condition that led me to the treatment to begin with, without as much attachment to it, without feeling as reactive to it, because I've moved into a different state. Those of you who were here yesterday, John did an amazing talk on treatment and talked about that that reactive prayer and that petitioning prayer and that rote prayer, and the difference between what we do of knowing something, knowing that it's so, believing it, accepting it, having it in this moment, no matter what is going on when we open our eyes, we still know that that's so. And to be able to carry that through is so much more probable if we've had that moment of yes. So I know that you're going to be writing treatments. I don't want you to think that that's what's going on. You're going to write them for exercise. But in your treatment process, please give yourself the time to hang out in the first step. Give yourself the time to hang out in the second step. Some people really don't like the second step. Well, I can't say that I'm God. Why not? Why not? Well, I don't deserve it. I'm not big enough. I'm not spiritual enough. That's all caca. The infinite is present in its entirety at the point of you. Not tomorrow, now. You don't have to do anything to have it that way. It is your nature and your essence. And that's the only thing that's going on. So what we want to do is we want to see, how does that feel? For me, sometimes it feels like a rhythmic pulse going through me. Sometimes I zoom out into the universe and the universe is pulsing. And it's this movement and this flow of energy, and it's amazing. It's almost like I could hear it, but I can't, but I can feel it. So what is it for you? Give yourself the time to hang out in that other state of consciousness before you pick up your saber of affirmation realization and start whacking at things, says Yoda. And then when you're in the affirmation realization stage, stay there until you really get it. You get it. David Mark.
I'd like to, I guess, bring up a point. But to me, what you have been describing is really an action or an activity that you're going through that, to me, is much better described as unification as opposed to identification. Identification, that just seems to be, to identify something with something is not quite the same as to unify with it.
The problem with unification is that you have two, and you're bringing it together. So if you have a better word than identification, I'm all ears.
In reality, if spirit is all that you are, and you are, and if spirit it's like love and long. There are two aspects. The the obverse, two sides of a coin.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems to me that identification is sort of a weak description.
Great. If you want to use unification, go for it. Go for it. That's how you were taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, and that's how it used
Absolutely, it used to be that way. My experience, especially in a first-year class, is that the temptation to duality is so present, and we don't even know we went into duality. But all of a sudden, we're thanking you. Who you? All of a sudden, we're wanting to open up to the presence of spirit. No, that presence of spirit is right now. We don't connect with it. We don't go get it. We don't open to it. We don't even let it come through us. It is what we are. And so as a teacher, I'm watching out for the many ways that we can slip into dualistic thinking and trying to stop it. And one of the ways that I did that was change it to identifying our true nature as spirit instead of human. Human. I'm just a human. Don't ask so much of me. So go for unification. And if you guys want to unify, great. Be mindful of what it is that you think you're unifying with. And as David puts it, they're just two aspects of the same thing. If you can do that, great.
That's what the monthly affirmation is, really.
What?
The monthly
As the wave is to the ocean, I am to spirit.
to the sky
Uh-huh.
and the roses to beauty.
Right, but the wave is the ocean. So you're saying that the wave is looking out at the ocean going, I am one with the ocean.
No, they're one and the same.
Right, but the languaging would be, the wave is unifying with the ocean. And I'm saying the wave is already the ocean. And the ocean is already the wave. But we're using words to go to a place where you can't get to with words. So whatever your words are, use unification. I unify now with all that is. It is what I am, and I am it. However you get there, that's great. And if you want to try it out, put it on. Check it out. Put on your hat, look in the mirror, see if you like it. If you don't like it, take it off. If you do like it, keep it. If you have questions about it, ask me. Was that all you had to say?
Yeah.
Thanks, David. Mark.
One little way I like to do it is just asking myself the question, but who am I really?
Yeah.
I love doing that. Like, who am I really? Like, I really am, God, spirit, already. I am that. And realize that my human story and my human memories are not what I am.
Right. Remember who you are. It has all of the power that is. Yeah.
It takes away all the mistakes, all the problems, you just go.
Good. Good. Jane and then David.
If you say, I am all there is, that's what a baby thinks too.
Maybe we're getting back to our infant selves. Babies don't have the ability to differentiate me and other. Yeah. Thank you, Jane. David.
With the affirmation step, I understand and appreciate the value of all 5 T's, but to be perfectly frank, I struggle with the first one being it's present, it's happening now. Because although I know consciousness can create a change in conditions, the logical part of my brain is saying, that's just wishful thinking, or you're fooling yourself.
So you don't have to go all the way to the end in now. In your purpose statement, what level do you want to treat? If you have a need for $1 million and you're going to choose to treat $1,000 into your experience because that's where you think you can get to, treat the $1,000. and then treat another 1,000 and 10,000 and grow it, whether it's a relationship issue, a physical issue, a monetary issue, whatever it is. You know, if you want to go to live in France and you've never been out of Asheville, you may want to take a trip out of Asheville and start developing the mental equivalent for that and the consciousness for that. There's nothing wrong with that. Terry McBride wrote a wonderful book called The Hell I Can't. And he was told he'd never walk again, he'd never have any children, and he did it a little bit at a time. And so that's a technique. I like to go right for what I want and then let the chips fall where they may. But however you want to do it, as long as your life is getting a little bit better and better every day, you're on the right track. And some people say there's just no way I can do that, so I'll do this amount instead of that amount. And if you really need that amount, I'd recommend you go see a practitioner, because they can go there without a problem. It's not their $1 million. They have no problem knowing it. Does that make sense? Robin?
I love to use the word regardless, because I used to always try to pray, but then I would look at the situation and it wouldn't be that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I could say regardless of how it looks, this is the way it is, you know, and just see that it is.
These are great demonstrations of words. David Mark's word is unification. David's word is as much as I can get to right now. Your word is regardless. This is such a great explanation of me wanting you to make it yours. Don't try to copy me, for God's sake. Don't try to copy something you read in a book. Make it yours. And whatever word takes you where you want to go, that's what you're gonna use. Okay? Good. So page 9. What I do in each stage. So in the recognition stage, in your own words, you're acknowledging oneness, allness, wholeness of God. You're expressing your deep conviction that whatever God is all that there is, that there's nothing anywhere but God. There is no spot, no situation where God is not, because God is all. These are obviously not your words, but these are things that you can say so that you're walking yourself through this step. Notice that this is not just one line, God is all there is. You want to elaborate on that. You want to hang out with that. God is the infinite love that rules the universe through the law of its being. I allow this awareness to flood my being with peace and serenity. However you want to say that. What? It is beautiful. It is. Good. Use those words. Get yourself out of your rut. And I find that the more I stay in that first step, the more that I can explore it in my thought process and in my intuitive feeling of that presence that I am connected with, that I am. So hang out there. Let yourself get flowery if you're a flowery person. Let yourself be clear and concise if you're a clear and concise person. But get to the feeling that you feel more connected, more energetic, whatever it is, more creative. You feel more than you felt before you started the treatment. And you know that. You know what that feeling is. You don't have to get all enlightened. Just feel more. Oh yeah, I got this. I got this. Because there's something inside of me that just blows me away when I give myself half a chance to focus on it. And then you go into the second step. Unification or identification, that not only are we what God is, but God is what we are. Sometimes people say, oh, well, all of me is spirit. Well, how about you are all of spirit? That's a different take on it. That it's not just that I'm a singular being over here and I'm filled with the presence of spirit, and then there's all this other stuff going on that God is. No, I am all of God. I mean, that is just a mind blower if you hang out with that. And all of God is what I am. Because in order for an infinite to exist, it must exist in its totality at every point simultaneously. So that all of God must be manifest as you right now, whether you understand it or feel it or get it or not. But that's that thing of you people are a bunch of egomaniacs and you're crazy over there, but it's the only way that it can be. So all that I am is spirit. And all that spirit is what I am. I am all that spirit is. That means that I am manifest everywhere, every when. I am all of that. I am all that is. Those are some very big concepts. And I don't want you to miss out on your power and your clarity by jumping over those, trying to get to what you think you want. Because really what you want is you want step 1 and 2. If you could really get step 1 and 2, you would never have to do anything else. You would never have to do an affirmation or a realization or anything else. If you knew that there's only one and that is what I am, you would just go around and your shadow would heal people, make flowers bloom, and change the world if you got who you are. So that's what I want you to focus on. And I'm cautioning you because normal people want to jump to the 3rd step. So don't sell yourself short by skipping over 1 and 2. Tiana.
So why would be like the ideal partner to like know who you are?
When something happens, you know that that doesn't rule you, that doesn't own you, that you are the point of creation in your life, that you are bigger than any problem. You have the solution to every problem. You have the answer to every question. You have everything that you need because you are the point of creation in your life. Nothing owns you, nothing runs you, nothing can take anything from you or give anything to you. You have it now. And that's where I would go with it. I mean, people say, oh, I lost this. You didn't lose it. Oh, somebody did this to me. Nobody did anything to you. Nobody can do anything to you. Nobody, nobody can give you anything. Nobody can take anything away from you.
What I've done is like I get like step 2 and step 3 mixed. Like when I'm trying to treat that I know like who I am. So I'll do step 2 and then step 3 will, it's almost like a repeat.
That's okay. If you're treating to know who you are, they can be repeats. And just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Good. So page 11. What do I do in the affirmation realization step? So I'm tired of reading to you. You tell me what you do in the affirmation realization step. You state, we've got want and looking for. So we're going to look at those words. We're not stating what we want. We're not stating what we're looking for. What are we doing? What is, what we have, what is true. Okay.
Therefore, is that a good one to use for that 3rd step? Therefore.
Since spirit is all that there is and it is what I am, therefore I know that all of the health and wholeness is what I am, since God is all there is, and God is infinite balance and wholeness and harmony and health, and that is all of me, every cell, every organ, every muscle, every tissue, every thought, every energetic part of me, then I know that right here and right now, that health and wholeness of the divine is who I am, manifest in every form, that kind of thing.
Me the most was this way of treating was how we taught it to the kids in Sunday school with their hands. God is, I am, therefore, gratitude and release. Because, and this was kind of the high point.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it was, God is, I don't know, it just was easier for me to remember.
I don't want you to do that. I want you to hang out in steps 1 and 2 and get an experience of it and to expand your ability to conceptualize these lofty metaphysical ideas of who you are. So what else do you do in step 3?
Is that a list of what you're treating for, basically?
Sure, you can have a list of what you're treating for.
Not exactly a list, but list of that which you affirm.
Right, but what is that?
Like if I'm treating for somebody, I say, I know for
Okay. Who else?
and I do that, and then that's true.
It already exists. So you can look at it as you place it in your life. You can look at it that you find it in your life. You know, this whole idea of the law of attraction, that you're bringing it in, that's not true. And even the idea that you're opening up and allowing it to come into your life is not really true. So you're revealing it. You know that it's true. You know that it's here. One of the things that I look at is I am creating my life so that when I open my eyes at the end of the treatment, that's the life that I'm living in. I'm picking my universe layer. I'm moving back into the Happy Barbara universe. And when I come out of the treatment, that's my reality, regardless. Who was regardless? Regardless of what I see. I will not be swayed by what my eyes see. Well, there's no Porsche in your driveway. Of course there is. I just treated it, but I wouldn't treat for a Porsche anyway. I would treat for freedom and excitement and prosperity and happiness, and however that came, I'd be free and happy and excited, you know, and prosperous. I would have all of that. So don't be swayed by what your eyes see. Jane.
Okay, so you can, this step, you can relate it to yourself. Let's say I lose my purse, which I do quite often.
You'll always find it, so it really wasn't lost.
Well, I would say, wouldn't I say, I know for myself that my purse is within reach.
Here now.
Is here now.
It's in my hand. I'm holding my purse right now. Not that I'm going to find it, not that somebody's going to tell me where it is. I have it in my hand right now. And it may have a finding or telling aspect to it, but the end result is that you're holding it in your hand. That's where you go. And you stay there until, you know, like the resistance is broken down and you go, oh, of course I've got my purse. I mean, I can feel it. I've got my purse. There's no place for it to go. There's no spot where God is not. There's nothing lost in the universe, but my purse is here.
Well, the thing is, so then, you just take a few steps and there's your purse.
Exactly. Exactly. I've had things materialize and dematerialize in the same spot. I had a big gold cross with a vine of emeralds on it that someone gave me once thinking I would wear it. And it's very valuable, and I had it in my my jewelry box right there. I mean, it's like this big, right there, solid gold. And one day it was gone. And I looked all over for it. I hadn't touched it in months. I hadn't moved it. It was just gone. And then, ding, 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 finally, I did a spiritual mind treatment, opened up the lid, and there it was.
Nobody's gaslighting you.
Nobody's doing anything to me.
It was just an affirmation, though. My thing that I thought I lost is right here.
That's it, Jane. That's it. Yes, and you don't lose anything. Good, good, good. So, are you clear about step 3? You're going to write these things down. They're going to come out in a couple of sentences, and that's not where I want you to stay. I want you to hang out in that consciousness and that awareness. You're developing. That means you're going to develop it and grow it. Lori.
Tell me about how the law of attraction is not.
There's nothing to attract. It's all here and now. There's nothing out there for you to pull in. No matter how much you clean out your garbage, your garage or your closet or whatever, you're not attracting anything to you. You already have it. Everything exists right here and right now.
So going back to the Porsche. So walk in my garage,
Mm-hmm.
open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have one, have a treatment for it, then I open the door and then there it is.
Great. That's what happened with my cross.
Let's still have a treatment.
It is just that easy. It is just that easy. One of my disciplines is parking spaces. And I often go to Sam's, and there is a very limited number of parking spaces that I will allow myself to park in. And I always use that as a mental exercise of creating that parking space. And if I go through the parking lot and I don't have one of those open for me, I will stop in the driveway and I will do a spiritual mind treatment. And when I open up, either it's open or someone's pulling out. There's no big deal about parking spaces. It'd probably be better for me to park in the lot, the outer 40 out there and hike in to the store. But it's just mental discipline. There is no difference between a parking space and a Porsche. There's no difference. I love being in Miami. I've never seen so many Rolls Royces in my life. It's like, oh, that's a Bentley. That's not a real Rolls Royce. There's a Lamborghini dealership in Miami. They've got stacks of Lamborghinis. It's just a wonderful mental equation, a mental equivalent to see all of that opulence. I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want a Rolls Royce. I don't want a Bentley. But I want to have the consciousness that anything is available to me. That all I have to do is accept it, to know it, to feel it, to really get that aha moment, and heaven and earth will do whatever it takes to have it pop in my world.
And so if it's not manifested yet.
That's a lie.
Well, vibrationally, it's here.
No, it's here. It's here in time and space. You have to get the schizophrenia of it. It's here, no matter what. It's not a vibrational thing. It's not manifesting. It is here and now. Right here, right now, period, end of story. If it's not here and now, it'll never be here. So it's your choice. And you can play games of vibration and manifestation, but then you're back to the law of attraction. It's here and now, period. You got to get there.
Yeah, I know, I'm with you. How long
Okay.
did it take you to get there?
Decades.
It was a lot, I just think.
Decades. Well, and I got a lot of help. I mean, I marvel at how practitioners sit here on Thursdays and nobody comes in to get treatments from them. I just marvel at how people who are looking to create a better life are not grabbing all of the tools. I think 11 to 3. Just you don't have to. No. What, Debbie?
So,
Back to here and now.
move back here. So then, what's not happening? Am I just not seeing it? Am I
Your
not
thought
manifesting
is getting in your way. That if I open my eyes and I haven't seen it, it's not here. That's the lie. It is here. Whether I see it or not, it's here. She's got to practice. She's got to practice knowing it, regardless of circumstances. I'm going to steal that word. Regardless of what's happening around you, you're going to practice standing in the consciousness of pure knowing, no matter what. Right. When you pray believing that you have received, you shall receive. Yeah. And that's just practice. That's why we practice.
Could you say really that there really isn't anything that needs to be done? It's really just a waking up.
Of course, there's nothing to be done except for us to get a hold of our thought process. And this is how we get a hold of our thought process. Who are we? What's really going on in the universe? Is this a cosmic test? Is this a cosmic joke? Do we just die and everything is over? What is going on? And then we get a better idea of who we are. I am so clear that I am a spiritual being living in a spiritual universe governed by spiritual law and nothing else matters. That I am the creation point of my life. And I don't care what I've created up until now, that's old news. My creation is now. And it's here now. Period, end of story. I went through an intersection once. My grandson just turned 15, so it was 15 years ago and a couple of weeks driving down to Orlando and went through an intersection with a semi-truck, ran the red light and is coming right at me, and I screamed no. And the next thing I knew, I was on the other side of the intersection with no skid marks. I dematerialized and rematerialized because I had work to do. I didn't have time to do a spiritual mind treatment, but I had trained myself enough to be able to do that. And granted, the word no is a denial, but it's all I had in my toolbox at the moment. So we can do anything, 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 anything. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. David Mark, did you just raise your hand? No. Okay. Hey.
How about, so you know that spiritual law activates any circumstance?
Great. Spiritual law activates any circumstance. There really is, and in the textbook, Ernest says we don't create. That was very problematic when we were Center for Creative Living. We don't create anything. And he says we discover and use. So I think we open up to it, we accept it, we embrace it, we love it, but we don't bring it in, we don't create anything out of nothing. Everything is all here and now. In order for an infinite to exist, it must exist in its totality. At the point of Debbie Ivy as everything she's ever wanted, right here and right now. There is no process to manifestation. It's always here and now. And when you can wrap your head around that it's here and now, then you can let go of this idea of, well, I haven't seen it yet, it's not in my driveway yet, I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, I don't know if I deserve it. You let go of all of that and just sit in the it's here and now, it's here. Right now, right here, it's here. So what do you do in the gratitude step? Celebrate. We have statements of gratitude, of thanksgiving, of happiness, of celebration, of, thrilled. Rejoice. Don't just be stuck to, and I'm grateful. Play with it. If you're really grateful, you're going to feel different. Your heart's going to pound a little bit. You're going to have a smile on your face. You're going to have a release of endorphins and enkephalins. You're going to get high if you're really grateful. So don't leave your treatment before you're stoned on it. Get high on the treatment. That means that you're thinking the right thoughts. You're in the right energy space for it. And the last step, we went over this. Release. Fling it out into the universe. Turn it over. Accept it. I don't have to be pressured about this anymore. It's right here and right now. It's in my hand. I've got it. I can just let it go. So your assignments for next week are on page 11. You're going to read the student study guide materials that's in here. You're going to read the Science of Mind textbook, and you're going to write 3 goals to be realized by the completion of class. And we're going to use those goals in our treatment work. And you're going to begin or continue to meditate daily. I want you to use these handouts to start writing your treatments down so that you know what it is you're saying and thinking. Stephen.
I'm not sure what you mean by goals.
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, what do you want to create by week 8? Go for it. I don't treat for specific cars. I treat for freedom. I treat for prosperity. I treat for feeling great. I treat for joy. And if that's me driving around in a Porsche, the Porsche will show up.
Before you said something about you're specific.
Yeah, I like to go to, well, why do you want a Porsche, Barbara? Well, I want a Porsche because I'm going to feel like hot stuff. Okay, I'm going to treat that I feel like hot stuff. I'm going to treat that I am hot stuff. The whole world sees me as hot stuff. Barbara Waterhouse is hot stuff. I don't need a Porsche to tell me that. I don't need anybody else to tell me that. I know it inside of me. All that God is, I am. And if that's not hot stuff, I don't know what is. So that's what I treat for, but I have spent lots of years treating for the money to pay the rent, treating for the car to start and run, treating for whatever it was that I was busy creating. So I don't discount that, but there'll come a stage of your growth where you're just going to go for the end result.
So we can do the many steps in the meantime.
Sure, just like I was talking to David, how much do you think you can expand into? And so, okay, I know that I can go to where my bills are paid early instead of late. Okay, we don't have to win the lottery yet. We're going to pay the bills early. I know that I have plenty of money to pay my bills when they come in, and all is well in the finances of my life. And then you can go to having some discretionary income. I know that my bills are paid and I've got money left over, and I go out to eat and I buy things and I have fun with my friends, and I've got plenty of money to do all of that. Or I feel strong. Okay, now I'm going to go to I feel energized. And then I'm going to go to I have great digestion. And then I'm going to go to. So you've got all of eternity to do this. You can build it, like Legos, a block at a time. That's fine. Any questions?
The 4 sheets with the affirmations, with the treatments, 4, or do you want?
No, I'm going to give these to you all through the notebook, so you've got worksheets. If you need extras, I'll have Margot print extras. I find that people, once they start writing down their treatments, they like it, because then they can look at it and say, wow, I didn't know that I believed that. Anything else? Good class. I'm glad you're here. Take out what you're going to give. Those of you watching online, you too can contribute to this amazing work of Center for Spiritual Living Asheville. If you're on a YouTube page, the upper right corner has a blue P, or it did when I made this recording. And if you click it, it'll take you to our PayPal account. And you can contribute whatever it is that you feel so moved to. I'm very grateful. I know that people all around the world are watching these. And if you don't have anything to contribute right now, that will not last for long. If you use these teachings, I will teach you how to prosper. So thank you for all that you give. And thank you everyone in this room for the way you support this center. We're doing great work. And so what I know is that Spirit is infinite, absolute abundance and prosperity. That there is no limitation to the idea of the divine. And so there is only ongoing expansion of prosperity. And I know that I am created out of that. I am the individualized point of Spirit's prospering as me now. And so I open to all of those blessings of life that are mine now. I know that that blessing of prosperity is my nature. It's my essence. It is who I am. And I allow that to be in the experiences of my life right now. So I know that for me and for everyone in the sound of my voice, I speak my word, claiming prosperity and abundance for each of us. I know that we have more than enough to do whatever it is we choose to do. I know that we have finances, we have food, we have water, we have opportunity, we have experiences, we have everything plus an abundance. And I know that each of us lives the divine blessed life that we were meant to live right here and right now, and with great, great gratitude for this blessing of life, for these teachings, and for all of the people we get to share and grow with. I simply release this treatment into the mind of God, the body of God, and the heart of God, because I know it's all God, as together we say, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My bartender days. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Grab it for... Thank you, Lori. And I know everything in these baskets is blessed, and everything that comes in through PayPal and all the myriad ways that this center accepts, it's good. I know it's all blessed, because anytime we give anything, that which we are goes with our gift. I know that the presence of the divine is let loose in our world every time we give anything. Whether it is money, whether it is a smile, love, clarity, opportunity, joy. And I know that that is returned to us multiplied abundantly, and that each of us comes together to make this Center for Spiritual Living Asheville all that it was ever meant to be. It is a place of peace, a beacon of light, a tower of strength, and a fountain of wisdom that touches the lives of all who call it home. And so it is. I love you guys. Come on Sunday.